beautiful people, welcome back to my channel Sarees and Curries. Today I'm going to walk you through 5 different drapes of sari, starting with the basic drape and then moving on to the Seeda Pallu or Gujarati style of drape, which is another great drape, and then to a very elegant fancy Maharani drape, which can be worn at festivals or wedding functions, things like that. And then 2 very fun drapes. One is the half sari drape. Yes, it's a half sari drape using a sari. And then the final Cancan drape. And here it's a drape, beautiful drape, but without a Cancan skirt. So stay tuned. Let's begin with the first drape. Now this is the classic everyday drape called the Nivi style or the basic drape. Now anytime you wear a sari, if you're going to wear heels, I would suggest for you to wear it first. Now you want to take the one end of the sari, tuck it on your right side, and then make a full circle. Now remember to tuck everything in neatly into your petticoat and wear a matching color petticoat. Here I've worn a petticoat and a black top for demonstration purposes. After that, you want to bring the other end of the sari, making another circle, and what you want to do right away is start making your pallu pleats. Now take your time making the pleats. If you're a beginner, it needs a little bit of patience, but once you get used to it, you get the hang of it, it becomes an easy process. And if you are a beginner, I would suggest for you to use lighter saris, easy to wear saris, and then when you get more confident and you're comfortable, you can move on to heavier saris and a little stiffer saris. Now put the pallu on, and when you're comfortable with the length, put a safety pin on and put it in such a way that it's not seen. I'm just tucking it in for demonstration purposes. Then what you want to do is, once you're done pinning, what you want to do is take the rest of the sari fabric, whatever is left over, stretch it tightly, and then start making pleats. Here it's very easy for me because the sari has lace starting, so I take that end and start making pleats. Just pleat it. Don't make very thin pleats or else you'll end up with a huge bunch by your waist when you tuck it in. So once you have all your pleats ready, make sure you grasp them neatly, tuck them in neatly, and then make sure that everything falls in place and everything looks nice and clean and tucked together. And any fabric that's left over, just tuck it into your right side where the sari palla comes from, and it will look neat and clean. Once this is done, you just want to make sure that you adjust everything, the pleats at the waist, the pleats at the shoulder, make sure everything is secure with pins, everything is falling the way you like it, the length of the pallu is good, nothing is showing, and most importantly, you're comfortable in this style. And once this is done, it's ready. So here is the Nivi style sari with the pleated pallu, and you'll see that you can also wear it with an open pallu. It will look equally classy and beautiful. Just remember to pin it at your shoulder so that you don't have to worry about it falling off. The second type of drape is the Seeda Pallu or the Gujarati style. Again, you start with putting your shoes on, you start with tucking one end of your sari in towards the right waist, and use a matching petticoat here. This is just for demonstration purposes. Again, make one full circle with the sari while making sure that you're tucking everything neatly into your petticoat or leggings or jeans or whatever you're wearing. Hey, skirts are so much better because you can easily go to the restroom. It's tough with leggings or pants on. But anyways, after that, what you want to do is grab the end of the pallu. Now here we are not doing a second round, and you'll see why. You start making your pleats again. I'm fast forwarding this because it's just the basic thing which you'll learn with practice. Once you are satisfied with your pleats, you want to bring it, and in a typical sari, the basic drape, you bring it over your left shoulder, but this time you're bringing it from the back and putting it over your right shoulder. And what you want to make sure is that the length of the pallu is not too short or not too long. A perfect length is somewhere between your hip and your knee, so it should rest above your thigh. By the knee is too long and by your waist is too short, and you'll see why you need this length. Once this is set in place, you want to secure it tightly with a pin. Again, I'm just showing it for demonstration purposes. Tuck it in where it's not visible. Now you want to gather the rest of the sari and start pleating, but you want to make sure that you leave a little bit of the sari like I'm showing here, because that's where the pallu will go. I'll show you. Once you leave this much fabric, start pleating the rest of the sari. Again, make sure that you pleat it and the pleats are nice and neat and the sari falls really well. Now, once you have all your pleats gathered, you do not want to tuck it in the way you do for a basic sari. The pleats face the way where your pallu is. So here I have the pallu on my right shoulder, so the pleats should face my right side. That's the difference between a basic drape and a Gujarati drape. So once you have that, tuck it tightly into your waist, and if you're not comfortable or in general, just secure it with a safety pin so there are no chances of the pleats coming off or anything like that. And then once it's secured, you just want to make sure that the sari has a good flow, everything is neat and clean. And now you could opt to leave the pleats just like this, especially with a top like this or a blouse like this where nothing is showing. But if you're wearing a typical blouse, for a typical Gujarati drape, what you want to do is bring one end of the pallu and wrap it from the front of your body and bring it to the back. Now here you have two options. You can either tuck it in and secure it, or you don't need to tuck it in. You can just secure it with a safety pin. For demonstration purposes, here I have just tucked it in. And remember the sari that we had left a little bit before pleating? That's where the pallu went in, right? So it is all put together and the pallu looks great and the flow is really good. And this is a great drape for a sari with a very gorgeous pallu with a lot of work on it, because that will really show. And this way, for anyone who's not very happy, with an open palla, this is a great alternative because the pallu will show, but everything is tucked in nice and neat, and you can go about your business, you can dance your heart off and nothing will come off. And here I've paired it with a beautiful blouse, statement necklace, and a bracelet. And I think this look is an amazing alternative to the basic drape. Now the third style is this gorgeous Maharani drape, and trust me, it is an amazing drape. Again, put on your shoes, and what you want to do is tuck the end of the sari a little bit more towards your right this time. because we are not going to make another circle with this sari. So you want to tuck it a little bit more towards your right. Make one complete circle, making sure that everything is tucked in nice and neat and clean. And again, like the Gujarati sari, we are going to start making pleats of the pallu. We are not going to make another round. Now here, try to make pleats which is the same size as the border. So here you can use a sari with a little bit larger border. And this time you want to focus a little bit more on the pallu because you want the pallu to be really neat and clean and the border showing really well. And you'll see in a moment why we do this. So once everything is neat and clean and you're happy, you want to have the pallu over your shoulder, make sure everything is neat. And then what you want to do is secure the pallu in place with a safety pin. Now here I have the pallu just up to my knee or like a little lower. You don't want it too long. So once you have the pallu tucked in place, what you want to do is make sure you see where your pallu hits the waist area or where your petticoat is. You tuck a little bit in there, and then what you do is you start making pleats with the rest of the fabric. And you just make pleats like you would for a regular sari. So here I'm going to speed up the process. Make sure that the pleats again are neat and clean and really flow well because it's going to be in the front. All pleats are always in the front, so you want to really spend a little bit of extra time and make sure that the pleats are nice and neat and clean. And when you are happy with the pleats, you are going to tuck the pleats into your petticoat just like you would for any sari draping. Not the Gujarati style, but the regular basic sari drape. Tuck it in. Tuck all your borders in, make sure it's neat and clean, and then you see that the border on the pallu shows, and that's why we wanted that border to be nice and neat and clean. You want to make everything straight, and the whole border shows from the bottom of the pleats all the way to the shoulder, and it gives it such a rich, classy look. Now what you want to do with the pallu is, you want to grab one end of the pallu, and then you want to grab it in a straight line just under your armpit, bring it to the front and pleat it toward the end, and just make enough pleats so that it can be tight and secure under the pallu pleats. You don't want to stretch the pallu pleats inside, you just want it in a straight line. So just adjust it accordingly so that you can tuck your other end of the pallu into the pallu, the border that you can see. Tuck it nice and secure. Now one tip I would suggest is that when you place your pallu over the shoulder, make sure you safety pin it a little lower on the back side. I didn't have anyone to help me tuck it in the back, so I've just tucked it on the top of the shoulder. But when you safety pin it a little bit lower in the back, it really forms a nice straight line with the pallu, and that makes it look so beautiful. But even this looks very nice, and you'll see in a moment when you wear a nice matching blouse, put on a waist belt, put on some nice jewelry, this is going to be such a gorgeous, gorgeous drape. So I hope you tried this drape. The fourth drape is a beautiful half sari drape. Now here I've already pleated the pallu, and I love this sari, and its border has a beautiful pink along with the golden, so I opted for a pink skirt. This is not a Cancan skirt. I got it with another outfit of mine and I thought it would look really well. Now for this drape, you want to again neatly pleat the pallu, and you want to keep the pallu a little long, and you'll see why. It looks very elegant. Now once you have your pallu over the shoulder, don't pin it yet, and I'll tell you again why. You want to bring the other end of the sari, and then you want to leave a little bit of fabric before you start pleating the rest of the sari. Now you'll see in a moment how much do I need to leave. You just want to leave enough fabric that when you have your arm stretched out, it's that much fabric. And what you want to do is the rest of the sari, you just start pleating. Now you want to make broader pleats so that it's not too many, but you want to make them nice and neat. And the last pleat should always face inside. The edge of the sari should face inside for a cleaner look. Now when you are done pleating, you want to take your time to adjust the pleats so that they all fall on top of each other and everything looks so elegant and so beautiful, and the border flows and it looks very nice. And at this point, you can secure it with a safety pin. In fact, I would suggest for you to secure it with a safety pin so that the pleats stay in place. And once you have everything secured with a safety pin, you do want to tuck it into your petticoat. Now, I would suggest not to have it tucked in too low, because then it won't flow really well. You want it a little higher, a tad tiny bit above the ground, so that when you twirl around or anything, it flows. It gives you the illusion of a lehenga. Here you see, just putting it that way makes it look so beautiful. It almost feels like a half and half, like a half pink skirt and a half green skirt, and I think all the colors flow really well together. Now remember the rest of the fabric that we have. What you want to do is tuck the border in and just start pulling that end towards the other side from the right to the left, and bring it, stretch it, and what you will end up with is like a triangle shaped piece. You'll see in a second what I'm trying to do. You want to bring it to the left side and slowly slip it over, and then you have that triangle. See that triangle? And then when you bring it over, voila! It looks exactly like a half sari. Now you want to stretch it, not very tight. You don't want to tear the sari, but then now you want to secure it with a safety pin. You can secure it from the outside because it's not going to show. And then you just want to make sure that everything is nice and in place. And now when this is done, you can finally pull your pallu so that it's nice and tight, and then secure it with a pin. And you see how beautiful this looks, and it gives a whole new look to a very basic or sari that you have, and you can totally transform it. So here I have paired it with a waist belt, put on some nice jewelry, and I hope you like this look. Let me know in the comments. The final look is the Cancan sari, but here you don't need a Cancan skirt. You put on any skirt you want, and then you bring the back of the skirt to the front. So the back center point should be right below your navel, and you'll see why. Again, I'm using the same combo. You put your pallu over your shoulder, don't pin it yet, and keep it pretty long. Now you want to take the end and just measure how much would it be to the center of your back. And from that point on, you want to start making big, broad pleats. And you want to pleat the rest of the sari, just leaving enough for maybe 2 pleats. And at this point, once you're done making your pleats, you want to again arrange them, make them look very neat and clean, and fan them out a little bit. And then once you're happy with how they look, you just want to secure it again with a safety pin. And once it's secured with a safety pin, you can choose to have the pleats facing right or left. I chose it to face to my left, and you tuck it right below your navel. Now remember, this is actually the back of your skirt. So after you tuck it in and you just arrange the pleats a little bit so that it flows really nice, now comes the step which is fun. You want to take this part and now bring it to where it originally belongs, which is the back of your skirt, to the back, to the center point. So you'll see that all the pleats that you made now are at the back. So that's why you don't pin the pallu, so that you can adjust it a little bit. Now I'll turn around so you can see how it looks in the back. So you see the pleats are in the back. And remember that fabric that you had left, just enough for a couple of pleats. So now you want to bring it to the front, and starting from the bottom border of the sari, you just want to make pleats, neat pleats. And then what you want to do is tuck it in the center, in the front, just below your navel. And then what it does is it creates this beautiful V shape. And now when everything is nice and secure, you can adjust your pallu and finally pin it. Now see how beautiful it looks. Now this is a Cancan sari without a Cancan skirt. It still looks very beautiful. Put on a waist belt, jewelry, and you look so classy and elegant. And I hope you like this look too. Do try it out and let me know in the comment section how you love this, and if you try it. So I hope you liked all these videos, and please don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. See you in my next video. Until next time, bye.